Good morning, everyone. My name is Seung-hyun. It's an honor and privilege for me to be a part of this historic conversation and be the one to welcome a true architect of the future, Demis Hassabis, back to Seoul. Welcome back to Seoul, Demis.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to say hello to the city that's been waiting for you to come back for the last 10 years?
Yes, it's really amazing to be back here. Thank you everyone for coming. It's been an incredible few days already, but today is the highlight.
So exactly 10 years ago, just a few blocks down the street, you were at the center of a Go match that was to change the history of technology and therefore the history of humankind. And lots has happened in those 10 years, not least of which is you getting a Nobel Prize, which we'll get to later. But just as importantly, AI has gone from being a lab experiment to part of pretty much everyone in this room's life. So what does it feel to be back here after all that time?
Well, it's a Seoul and this place will always have a special place in my heart. For me, it was the kind of beginning of the modern AI era. I think that's when we look back now, 10 years ago, the AlphaGo match with Master Lee signaled the beginning of this incredible advances that has happened in the last decade. So in many ways, it feels like I was here just yesterday. We were playing the match just down the street. But on the other hand, it also feels like 100 years has gone in terms of the amount of advances that have happened since then. So we're very proud of the legacy that this match has done in the technology world. And it's great to be back here, kind of at the center where it all started.
That's great to hear. We have few questions for you.
Sure.
And now we are going to get to your Nobel Prize. Your Nobel Prize winning achievement was called the AlphaFold. As I understand it, and I'm not very scientifically inclined, protein folding is one of the most difficult scientific problems in modern biology. And you told me in our previous conversation that one PhD might spend a lifetime folding one protein. And I remember that scene from documentary featuring you, which I advise everybody to watch, that there was a point when you realized that using AI, you could potentially fold every protein known to humankind.
Yes.
And you folded, 200 million proteins in a space of in a space of a year?
Yeah.
Okay, now that deserves an applause. So while many people and many companies are trying to come up with an immediate practical application for AI, you have been committed at Google DeepMind to developing things like AlphaFold and try to use AI to solve some of humanity's most pressing problems. How did you come to that decision and what's making you stay that course?
Well, for me, it's the whole reason why I started this journey with AI. So actually, even before DeepMind, we started DeepMind in 2010, before anyone was really working on AI, because we believed it would be the most transformational technology ever. But myself, in my own personal career, I've been working it for nearly 30 years now. And the reason is I always thought of it as the ultimate tool to help us advance scientific discovery and scientific understanding. So that's always been my passion and for me the motivation to build these kind of technologies. So it's always been there, and it's fantastic now that we have the platform and the privilege to kind of actually make progress in these really difficult areas. So you mentioned protein folding, which is of course what AlphaFold was for, and protein folding was this 50-year grand challenge in biology of how do you understand the 3D structure of a protein just from its amino acid sequence, and it's really important for understanding biology, but also for drug disease and curing diseases. We need to understand how the protein folds to understand its function and also to design the drug to bind to the right part of the protein. So this is a huge problem in science. And as you mentioned, it used to take a PhD student roughly like their whole PhD, 5 years to do fold one protein. And now we folded all 200 million and then open sourced it to the world. So that would have taken 1 billion years of PhD time to do if it wasn't for something like AlphaFold. So I think that's just a taste of what the amazing things, amazing benefits that AI can bring to science and medicine and the world. So for us, that's always been a key part of the mission of DeepMind, and now at Google DeepMind, and we continue to try and push the frontiers of that.
and advanced in science is important insofar as it changes the human society, right? And the society that most of our audience live in today, which is the Korean society, we are facing some enormous challenges. Korea has become a leader in manufacturing and in digital infrastructure, but like most advanced economies, we have an aging population, and amid the population aging, we have to find a solution to crack the next level of growth. What could a country like Korea do to use AI or AGI even, that's coming pretty soon according to you,
Yes.
to help us face down some of these challenges and really unlock the next level of growth and prosperity?
Well, one reason I'm so excited to be here in Korea now 10 years later, and actually one of the reasons we staged the match here was, of course, Master Lee as a legendary Go player, but also I think the forward-thinking nature of Korea has always been with technologies, at the forefront of technologies, and exploring and embracing what they can do. And having met with the president on Monday, and then many of the businesses and students yesterday, I'm very excited about the potential Korea has to be at the forefront of this new AI era. I think Korea has all of the right ingredients. It's amazing at manufacturing, from chips to robotics, incredible strength in industry, fantastic universities and research institutes like Seoul University and KAIST. So I think it has all of the ingredients to be one of the world leaders in this technology, and we're very happy to be coming back here now 10 years later and collaborating with the government and many of the companies here on these new breakthrough technologies.
What distinguishes you from other leaders in the AI field is that not only are you a leader in developing AI technologies, but you're also a leader in using the AI technology to provide real value for the mankind.
Yes.
And we have a lot of leaders of industries and pioneers of Korean society gathered here today. And what's your advice to them on how to be a better leader in the age of AI so they can really elevate their value both within their organization and to society at large?
So the amazing thing that's happened in the last few years is this research has come out of the lab into the real world, like you say. So one is science, we've discussed, but also productivity and driving new productivity. This is what we try to do with our Gemini program, and become a kind of general digital assistant to help you at work and in your everyday life. And I think all of us as leaders, and if you're running companies or projects, we need to work out how to work with these new AI tools in the most efficient way possible. They can do really amazing things now, and they're getting better every month pretty much. And now we're into this new era of kind of agents that can do things for you. Actually, AlphaGo was one of the first examples of an AI agent, right? And actually, we need this kind of AlphaGo technology more generally to help with your administration work, help do brainstorming, and help with your kind of everyday life. The things that you don't, administration tasks that maybe you don't want to do, to free up time for more creative tasks that you do want to do. So that's our vision for these kinds of technologies. And all of us have to figure out the best way to integrate them into our current workflows.
You mentioned in a previous interview that I watched, I've been watching all your interviews. They're really interesting. You should. You should. And you said that there are certain technologies that human beings discover in our history that take the ceiling of what humans can do to the next level. So you, for example, mentioned in an interview that 300 years ago, if you mentioned that we would be building high trains,
Yes.
they'd be like, no, we can't.
Yes.
And then Industrial Revolution came along, and
Yes.
and we could. So in terms of AI and AGI, in terms of scale of human force multiplier, where does it sit? And in 50 to 100 years, what will we be looking at that seems impossible to us now?
Yeah, well, you've been listening well to my interview, so I'm impressed. But I think, what I was saying in that particular phrase was, if you go back to a few hundred years ago and you think about what we have today in modern civilization, flying on a 747 across the oceans, it's kind of amazing what we've been able to achieve with our brains, right? And it's because the human mind is the only proof we have of general intelligence. We're kind of infinitely adaptable adaptable because we're so general. And that's why we've been able to create modern civilization, even though our brains were evolved for hunter-gathering. So it's kind of amazing if you stop to think about what we've done building these computers and now, of course, modern technologies, including AI. So what I'm hoping is over the next 10 years is AI will be this kind of force multiplier, as you say, for scientists and medics to make incredible breakthroughs. I think we could maybe even like solve all disease in the next 10 to 20 years with these types of technologies, help with the environment, new energy sources. We're working on things like fusion with some of our partners, maybe new types of materials, better batteries. So I think there's incredible breakthroughs that are going to be made over the next 10 years in sciences that will kind of usher in a new golden era, a new like renaissance of human flourishing if we get it right. And I think AlphaFold was hopefully when we look back, the first example of that kind of big breakthrough that benefits all of humanity.
Some of the biggest advantages of Korea that you mentioned comes from the intense interest that Korean parents have in their children's education. We have the highest
Yes.
college enrollment rate anywhere in the world.
Yes.
And many parents are wondering, how do I raise my kid to be AI ready? Right? How am I going to raise a child that when you put AI in front of them, they say, oh, I had a dream, and now with AI, I can achieve it. Somebody who's going to get really excited and use AI for creative purposes and in a direction that's good for humankind in general as well.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of faith in human ingenuity, right? And our ability to adapt and invent new ways to do things. And I think this will be true of the next generation too. So, my generation, we grew up with these computers, and then there's internet, and then the mobile. So we've been through many of these big changes. And at the time, I was writing games when I was a kid, and my parents were wondering, is this useful use of time? But then it turned out it was, because, programming was useful, and then this is how I learned actually to do AI, was by making games in my early career. And so I think the kids of today, what I would recommend is a few things. First of all, still do traditional studies in STEM subjects, science, mathematics, these kind of subjects. It will still be important because you'll need to be able to direct these tools what to do. You'll better use them better if you understand how they work and orchestrate them better. And then the second thing is I would say to lean into trying out these tools and working out how they can benefit your studies and what your projects you're trying to do, your side projects, extracurricular projects. And I think my feeling is there's a lot of extra capability these models have that even the leading labs don't know because we're busy building the next technology. I think I imagine in the next 10 years, lots of smart kids will find new ways of building new businesses, new products, new games, new applications using these types of core AI tools. So I think in a way, if the youth of the next era, they'll almost be superpowered by these types of technologies in terms of what they'll be able to achieve.
If you watch, we follow Demi's trajectory. First, he taught AI to play Go, and then he taught AI to play StarCraft, and then that AI went on to solve protein folding. So if your children play too much StarCraft, let them.
Yes,
okay.
It's good.
오늘 데니스 하사비스 CEO께서 전해주신 지적 지평을 넓히고 우리 안에 가능성을 깨워야 한다는 메시지가 가슴 깊은 울림을 주신 것 같아요. 이 비전이 단순한 선언이 아니라 살아있는 실체임을 10년 전 바로 이곳 서울에서 몸소 증명해 보였던 한 분을 모시려고 합니다. 알파고와 역사적인 대국을 통해 AI 시대의 서막을 가장 먼저 마주하며 신의 한 수로 우리에게 잊지 못할 경이로움을 선사했던 분이죠. 오늘 이 대담의 서사를 완벽하게 완성해줄 특별한 주인공 이세돌 사범님을 뜨거운 박수로 모셔보겠습니다. 반갑습니다. 오늘 전에는 이제 대국 상대로 만났는데 오늘은 이렇게 같이 앉아 계시니까 좀 기분이 어떠세요?
저는 사실 그런 데미스 하사비스 그런 것 소식들을 굉장히 계속 지켜보고 있었거든요. 그래서 이번에 노벨상 받았던 24년에 노벨상 받은 것도 굉장히 정말 기쁘게 받아들였고요. 그래서 그거 보면서 정말 다시 한번 이런 자리가 좀 같이 마주 앉을 수 있는 그런 자리가 있으면 좋겠다 생각을 했는데 오늘 이렇게 할 수 있게 돼서 정말 기쁘게 생각을 합니다. 예.
여기 이제 계신 많은 분들이 지금은 AI를 일상에서 자주 사용하고 계시겠지만 아마 여기 앉아 있는 사람 중에서 한국인 중에서 AI를 가장 먼저 경험한 분이
예.
이세돌 사범님이 아닐까 생각이 되는데 그 사범님께 지금 이제 10년 동안 AI가 발전한 이 지금의 현실을 보면서 내가 알파고와 보냈던 그 시간이 어떤 의미를 가졌었다라고 지금은 생각이 되시나요?
제 인생에 정말 잊지 못할 그런 기억일 거고요. 소중한 경험, 소중한 추억, 또 제 인생의 그런 의미를 재정립하는 데 있어서 뭐 시발점이자 또 원동력이 아니었을까 이렇게 생각을 합니다. 예.
그 사범님하고 저와 다른 자리에서도 이 그 대국에 대해서 대화를 나눈 적이 있는데 그때 사범님께서 AI가 이 바둑이 여기까지 있구나라는 것을 깨닫게 해줬다. 이 바둑이라는 것이 바둑이라는 것이 지금 내가 알고 있는 바둑 외에 다른 또 세계가 있다는 것을 좀 열어주었다 이런 말씀을 하셨는데 그게 어떤 의미셨었어요?
사실 AI가 나오면서 인간의 바둑이 그렇게 남아있는 게 별로 없습니다. 예. 정말 알파고 이후에 정말 모든 것들이 바둑의 그런 기본적인 개념조차도 사실 많은 것들이 바뀌었어요. 그래서 그런 의미에서 정말 저는 정말 제가 창의적인 바둑을 두겠다 이렇게 생각도 하고 나름 자부심도 있었습니다. 저는 그래도 나름대로 좀 창의적인 바둑을 두는 사람이 아닌가 이렇게 생각을 했는데 이 AI 그 알파고의 바둑을 보면서 정말 사실은 좀 우물 안의 개구리였구나. 정말 더 많은 것들을 우리가 보고 느꼈어야 되는데 그 안에서 사실 좀 머물렀던 그런 좀 아쉬움이 있어요. 조금 더 우리가 더 나아갈 수 있지 않았을까요? 정말 AI처럼 우리가 바둑을 두기는 그 전에도 그렇고 앞으로도 힘들지 않을까라는 생각을 하지만 너무나도 우리가 그 안에 좀 갇혀 있지 않았나 하는 좀 아쉬움이 있습니다. 예.
그 데미스님이 이제 AI를 통해서 인간이 또 한 번의 르네상스, 또 한 번의 과학의 황금기를 맞을 거다라는 얘기를 해주셨는데 직접 또 AI를 통해서 바둑이 어떻게 변해가고 사람이 바둑과 관계를 가지는 방법이 어떻게 바뀌어가는지를 계속 지켜보고 연구를 하셨잖아요. AI라는 도구가 인간을 만났을 때 우리의 잠재력을 어떤 분야에서 또 어떻게 확장할 수 있다라고 느끼세요?
잠재력을 극대화할 수 있냐는 말씀이신데요. 사실 그거를 제가 정확하게 여기서 그렇게 말씀드리긴 좀 어려운 부분일 것 같은데요. 근데 정말 엄청난 이제 변화에 우리는 직면한 것 같습니다. 뭐 산업혁명과는 좀 다르죠. 왜냐하면 이거는 정말 인간과 대화가 통하는 느낌의 그런 것이고 지식과 정보를 우리에게 정말 제대로 전달하는 그런 느낌을 주는 것이거든요. 그래서 우리가 좀 이거에 대해서 좀 정말 정리가 좀 필요합니다. 우리가 이게 적응이 좀 필요해요. 한 번도 경험해보지 못했던 요거에 대해서 우리가 다시 한번 정말 협업의 파트너로서 우리가 이걸 좀 더 정리할 필요가 있지 않을까 이렇게 좀 생각을 해봅니다. 여러 가지가 있겠죠. 할 수 있는 일도 많겠지만 무엇보다 우리가 좀 조심해야 될 부분들이 있지 않습니까? 정말 우리의 생각을 우리의 주도권, 우리 인간의 주도권을 뺏어갈 수 있는 그런 존재가 될 수가 있기 때문에 이런 부분을 우리가 조금 더 조심하고 좀 조심해서 생각을 해야 되지 않을까 생각을 합니다. 예.
알겠습니다. Thank you, Master Lee, for sharing that truly inspiring vision as an AI's former sparring partner. Demi says, somebody who witnessed Lee Sedol's legendary Move 78, which has since become the symbol of human intuition and creativity. What did you think at that moment in terms of how human beings and AI intelligence is different and how we can build a future together?
Yeah, I mean that was one of the most incredible moments of the match and of my life. Really, is the move 37 of AlphaGo showing the creativity that maybe is needed to do things in science, and then Master Lee's incredible move 78 that he's still the only person to ever have beaten AlphaGo in a match. It's fantastic. So.
감사합니다.
And I hope to see that this kind of technology helps inspire us to think of even bigger questions, even more ambitious, to fix some of the problems in the world, from disease to the environment, to energy sources, and then maybe help us get to the next level of human flourishing. Maybe traveling to the stars with these technologies, and helping the environment here on Earth as well. So that's what I'm hoping these technologies will do, and it's going to be a partnership with our human intuition and judgment and knowledge about what direction to push these technologies in, and then hopefully these technologies can help us understand the complexities and the patterns of life and the sciences.
두 분의 말씀을 들으니까 10년 전에 바둑판 위에서 시작된 그 역사적인 한 수가 이제는 인류의 난제를 해결하는 과학의 르네상스 시대로 이어지고 있다라는 생각이 드네요. 무엇보다 이 AI라는 거대한 여정이 앞으로 나아갈수록 AI를 통해 어떤 가치를 만들지 결정하는 인간의 역할이 중요해진다라는 것도 생각할 필요가 있을 것 같습니다. 오늘 10년의 시간을 교차하며 AI 시대의 깊은 통찰을 공유해 주신 두 분께 뜨거운 박수 부탁드립니다.
감사합니다.